In this video, we are going to understand about the Romantic Age in English literature. So let's start. Romanticism in English literature began in the 1970s with the publication of the greatest work, that is, the Lyrical Ballads by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Wordsworth's preface to the second edition of Lyrical Ballads 1800, in which it described poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, became the manifesto for the English Romantic movement in poetry. Romanticism was a reaction against the spread of industrialism as well as a call for more attention to nature. Romanticism, also known as the Romantic movement or Romantic era, was an artistic, literary, musical and intellectual movement that originated in Europe towards the end of the 18th century and in most areas was at its peak in the approximate period from 1800 to 1850. Romanticism, also known as the Romantic movement or Romantic era, began in the 1970s with the publication of the greatest work, that is, the Lyrical Ballads, which was collaboratively written by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the two great Romantic poets. The first edition of Lyrical Ballads came on 1798, followed by the second edition in which Wordsworth gave the definition of poetry. The second edition was called as Preface to Lyrical Ballads. Wordsworth said that poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. According to Wordsworth, the emotions which are expressed in poetry are derived from tranquility, that is, a calm state of mind. Romanticism was a reaction against the negative effects of industrialization. The Romantic poets wanted to explore nature through their poems. Romanticism, also known as the Romantic movement or Romantic era, was an artistic, literary, musical and intellectual movement which began in Europe towards the end of the 18th century and it reached its heights, that is from 1800 to 1850. Romantic Age historical background begins with the publication of Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge's The Lyrical Ballads in 1798. It ends with accession of Queen Victoria in 1837. George III was the King of England. Romanticism coincided with the revolution in France and in America. Hence is also known as the Age of Revolution. Historical background. William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the two great Romantic poets, they published a joint collection of poems called The Lyrical Ballads, which was published in 1798. It opened the gates for the Romantic Age in English literature. George III was ruling England during this period. Queen Victoria ascended to the throne in 1837. Hence, it marked the end of the Romantic Age in English literature. So, a new era started in the history of English literature, that is the Victorian Age. Next, the Romantic Age happened at the same time when the French Revolution occurred in France and the American Revolution was happening in America. Hence, it is also known as the Age of Revolution. We will move on to the next, that is social and economical background. The first phase of Industrial Revolution was about 1750 to 1850. Coal and steam engines were driving force. Major changes in agriculture, manufacturing, mining, transportation and technology. Economy dominated by industry and machines. England emerged as the top industrialized nations. The Industrial Revolution, which took place in England from 1750 to 1850, there were major developments in the field of transportation, import, export, coal and steam engines were developed. By reason of all such activities, England emerged as the top industrialized nations.